Blessings from Ashes, a Kingdom Saga holiday. Written by Megan Linsky. Narrated by Nadia Marshall. A note to readers. Blessings from Ashes is a short holiday-themed Kingdom Saga special. It takes place a few months after the events of Fallen from Ashes, and 3 years before the events of Redemption from Ashes. It is recommended you finish both Kingdom from Ashes and Fallen from Ashes before reading this short novella. Reading Redemption from Ashes first is not required, as it comes after the events of this book. Chapter 1. At the end of every year, I stare into Al-Sham's flames in the hearth within the palace. I think about many things, what has happened in the past and what is still to come. Though the future frightens me, the idea of the past repeating itself is far more terrifying. Though when coldness creeps over me and fear threatens to steal away my joy, I remind myself that Al-Shams will always protect us. Sometimes, the most painful things can be blessings in disguise.
Bennua, can you please stop pacing?
Shadi complains as I circle my bedroom for what has to be the 9th time.
He'll get here when he gets here.
I peek out the window again. Nothing. Although it's particularly cold, as is typical for the desert this time of year, I don't draw the curtains. I keep them open, just in case the sight of Zahid's horse comes into view.
You've only been apart for a week.
Shadi rolls his eyes.
You act as if you two have been parted for a century.
The first day of Tajdid al-Nar starts tomorrow, I remind him. It isn't right for a wife to be separated from her husband during the holidays. The very mention of Tajdid al-Nar has me jumping out of my skin with excitement. The presents, the decorations, the feasts. There's no time of year I love more than Tajdid al-Nar. This will only be my second holiday with Zahid, but last year, we were so busy with me taking on my new role as queen that we didn't get to celebrate the holidays as much as I wanted to. This is also the first year we get to celebrate the holidays married instead of simply engaged, which makes it infinitely better. Since I was a little girl, I've been dreaming of celebrating Tajdid al-Nar with my husband. I'm excited for all the new things we get to do together during the celebration that are reserved only for married couples.
Someone should tell that to my wife.
Shadi grumbles under his breath. What was that? I ask, absent-mindedly. I'm looking out the window again.
Nothing,
Shadi adds quickly, before whimpering.
Nobody listens to me.
Oh, hush. I listen fairly well. I turn away from the window with a sigh. I suppose you're right. He'll get here when he gets here. Even so, I'm chewing at my nails. I know I'm being ridiculous, but after what Zahid and I went through over the past few months, Shadi should understand why I'm so anxious. Even since Ruku killed Zahid and Toshana brought my beloved back from the dead, it's been nearly impossible for me to be parted from my love for a few minutes, let alone 7 days. We couldn't avoid this diplomacy meeting, and Zahid volunteered to go while I ruled from here, but it couldn't have come at a worse time. I hope he arrives before the holiday officially begins. There's a knock at the door.
My queen, are you in there?
I whirl around to face Shadi.
Get in the lamp,
I hiss.
If anyone sees you in here with me, it'll be a scandal.
Shadi sighs, very loudly, before disappearing back into his lamp. Although we've managed to disguise him as one of our servants within the palace, no one knows he's a jinn, save for Zahid and I. If he, as a male, was to be found in my quarters, the people would scream adulteress and probably call for my head, and I'm not losing it for Shadi's sake. The door opens slowly. One of my maidservants bows to me.
I beg your pardon, my queen, but the children are waiting down in the throne room for you to tell the Tajdid al-Nar story. It is a tradition. You appear to be slightly late.
How could I have forgotten? I'm so absent-minded these days.
Of course,
I say.
Tell them I'll be there in a moment.
The servant turns to leave. I pull on a rich green robe with red silk trim in the traditional Tajdid al-Nar colors and hurry out the door as dignified as I possibly can. I might be a queen, but I feel completely undignified and out of place without Zahid here. It makes me doubt I can rule on my own. I remember when my father used to recite the Tajdid al-Nar story to all the children in Hayama the night before the 7-day fast began. Since last year, it is a tradition that falls to me. When I come floundering into the throne room, I find dozens upon dozens of little eyes upon me. The throne room is massive, but each and every corner is packed with mothers and babes, most under 10. They cheer when I come into the throne room. It's not decorated, not as of yet, but we will begin hanging decorations tomorrow, once the holiday begins. I blush at my lateness, then proceed to the pillow that has been placed at the topmost staircase and sit upon it. Children inch closer, gathering all around me. When I raise my hands, the clapping and cheering stops, and the children gaze at me fondly. I recited the story last year, but I stuttered often and wasn't very loud. I hope I do better this year. I swallow nervously and say, "Good evening, children. Are we looking forward to the beginning of Tajdid al-Nar tomorrow?"
Yes,
they reply back in a unanimous chorus. It brings me a smile.
Have you come to hear the story of Al-Sham's holiday?
I ask. It's the same question year after year, just as my father asked it, and his father before him with his tribe, probably.
Tell us, my queen, tell us!
The little boy at my feet begs. He hops up and down. I remember he was at the back of the room last year. He must have begged his mother to bring him extra early so he could get a seat close to me. I reach out my arms and take him into my lap. Very well. I take a deep breath and increase the volume of my voice so it booms throughout the throne room.
Centuries upon centuries ago, all that existed was Al-Shams and the space he inhabited. Al-Shams had lived for years and years, but grew lonely and desired to create something that was in his image.
I shift the little boy. He's pressing into my hip, and it hurts, but I don't want to move him away because he looks so excited.
And so, Al-Shams took 7 days and created the world. On the first day, he made the light and the dark. On the second day, he made the sky. And on the third day, he created the firmament. On the fourth day, he made the stars. And on the fifth day, he made all the creatures.
My smile falters a little.
Then, on the sixth day, he made people. Did he make me then?
The little boy asks, and a few of the mothers giggle. He made you a little later, I say, and the crowd laughs. I allow myself a small chuckle before I continue. This part of the story is probably my least favorite, but its meaning didn't take on such a seriousness until recently.
But as time went on, Al-Shams realized his creation was flawed. Humans were good, but they were also bad. His enemy Akshalad corrupted them to be evil. Akshalad enslaved those he could and devoured those he could not.
At the mention of the eagle god, I feel a knot harden in my throat. As beautiful as the story is, I'm one of the few people who knows how real it is. Akshalad isn't just a fairy tale. He's real, and he's out there. I've seen him and made him my own personal enemy. And one day, He will come for me.
What happened next?
The little boy prods, and I jump. I realized I've slipped off into my own thoughts. Several mothers are staring at me. The children are starting to stir, as if I've paused for a long time and they're getting fidgety. I shake myself out of it and say, Al-Shams decided that his creation would have to be cleansed with fire, to rid itself of the evil that had taken hold of them. He came to earth and lived among us for a time, warning us of the fiery fate that would come to pass. If humanity does not change, Al-Shams will keep to his promise to burn the world and begin it anew. But if it does change and become more kind, Al-Shams will return to rule over us in an age of peace and harmony. I never thought of it before, but this story is somewhat grim. I had always believed in Al-Shams, of course, but the story becomes far more terrifying when you know for certain that gods are real, and you've seen them flying around. One day, Al-Shams left the realm, flying into the clouds in a great well of fire. On that day, our forefathers established Tajdid al-Nar, which in the old language means fire rebirth. We vowed to change our ways and become more like Al-Shams and less like Akshalat. I take another breath. That's why we fast for 6 days, to remember how Al-Shams created the earth, and to remember that there are still many people in the world who are poor and sick who need our help. On the 7th day, the last day of the year, we feast and give each other presents to celebrate how good Al-Shams has been to us.
And Quida-Saman will come with his flying camel while we're sleeping to give us presents.
The little boy bursts, and the children in the crowd chatter excitedly. Only if you're good. I tweak his nose. Otherwise, he'll leave sand in your stocking.
I've been good,
the little boy insists.
I've learned how to use the bathroom this year.
A woman in the crowd that I'm presuming to be his mother laughs loudly. I laugh with her.
Have you been good this year, my queen? Will Quida-Saman come to give you presents?
A tiny girl sitting by my knee asks. I stare at her, thinking back on my actions of the past year. No, I suppose I haven't been good at all. I've been arrogant, mean, sometimes cruel even. I asked Zahid for a divorce hours before he sacrificed himself to preserve my life. Even though Toshana brought him back, my actions still caused a death, the loss of my best friend, and the absence of the great phoenix that protects us all. I had too much pride, and it was nearly the downfall of my sultanate and all the people in it. But I can't admit this in front of my subjects, obviously. I force a grimace and say, Quida-Saman only gives presents to children. My husband will make sure that I get presents this year. Not that he should. The thought is so shocking to me that I have to compose myself for a second. I've doubted myself before, but this is different. I'm being blatantly nasty to myself. It's odd and not like me. You still deserve it. The cruel voice in my head whispers. People are looking at me again. I open my mouth and say, I know it's been hard this year for many of you. Faces darken, and I add, the takeover by Ikram and the siege by Ruku were dark times we all had to endure. But this is a time for celebration, for laughter and joy. Seiran will be at peace from now until the new year begins. And hopefully for much longer than that. Someone echoes across the throne room. That marvelous voice is like music to my ears. Zahid. He must have slipped in when I was telling the story. My eyes search the crowd until I find him. He's leaning against the wall, arms crossed, one leg propped against it. His hair is falling into his eyes, and he's smiling at me. By Al-Shams, his eyes are sparkling. It feels like I haven't seen him in 1,000 years. I'm either going to explode or have a heart attack. Pull yourself together. You can't fall apart in front of all these people. I lift the child off my lap and force my weak knees to stand. I want to run, but I calmly gather my skirts and nod to my subjects. I hope all of you have a wonderful Tajdid al-Nar. And don't despair. Hopefully this year will be better than the last.
Come along, children,
one of the mothers says. People begin to leave. The mother of the little boy gives me a knowing smile. The queen wishes to greet her husband. I'm walking a little too fast towards Zahid. When I stand before him, his smile increases. Hello. Hello, I reply, breathlessly. Zahid pushes off the wall and turns. Silently, I follow him. I want to take hold of him, but I can't. Not in view of all these people. We can't kiss or even embrace until we're hidden away. Tradition demands purity. I can't even hold his hand. If we were in Ashana, this wouldn't even matter. Stupid rules. One day we'll be so powerful we'll create a world where we don't have to be afraid of touching each other in public. When we get to our room, I shut the door. Zahid grabs Shadi's lamp and opens up a trunk. Zahid throws the lamp in the trunk and locks it. From inside, I hear Shadi give a shrill scream. Zahid turns around. We'll let him out later. Zahid gives an oof as I tackle him onto the bed. I straddle his hips and pin his wrists over his head. He doesn't have time to get any more words out because I'm kissing him. I only pull back when I need time to breathe. I brush his hair away from his brown eyes and stare into them. Once upon a time, those eyes were cold and still and... Stop. Don't ruin it. Somebody missed me. Zahid laughs and sits up. I refuse to budge off his lap. Instead, I curl my legs around him. I missed you so much. I wrap my arms around him and squeeze him until he can hardly breathe. I missed you too. He grabs the back of my head and kisses me again, deeply. Unbelievably so. It was incredibly boring, being locked up in a palace with a bunch of old men for a week, talking in circles and going nowhere. I put a finger to his lips. No more talking, I tell him. What we need to say, we don't need words. He grins deliciously. My queen, I can ever so agree with that. It's nighttime. I'm curled up against Zahid's chest, listening to his steady and strong heartbeat and feeling better than I have in days. Now I'm happy. My body is buzzing with a high that only Zahid can give me. When he's gone, it doesn't feel right. Everything's restored and back together as it should be now. Zahid's fingers are meshed into my hair. He plays with the tendrils and says, Truth be told, it was harder than I thought it would be, being apart from you. Nearly torture. I make an agreeable noise. We're best when we're together. I don't want us to be apart for so long after this. No. He kisses my forehead. I agree. Never again. I let out a yawn. I'm very tired. We should get some rest, I say. The fast starts tomorrow. We need to get ready for Tajdid al-Nar. Zahid stiffens. He coughs and says, Yes, you're right. Good night, Bennua. He turns away from me and lays on his side. My suspicion is instantly roused. Oh no, you're doing it again, I say.
Doing it? Doing what?
Zahid plays dumb. Pretending that you're fine when you're really hiding something from me because you don't want to hurt my feelings. I sit up and raise an eyebrow. What's on your mind? Zahid sighs. He turns over onto his back again and says,
About Tajdid al-Nar.
Yes.
Please don't get mad.
I won't get mad.
You will get mad.
No, I won't.
Promise?
Of course. I grab his shoulders and shake them. Tell me. Zahid holds his breath. Then very quickly he mutters,
I don't think we should take part in the couple ceremonies during the holiday season this year.
What? My mind goes blank. Why not? It'll be the first year we can.
I don't feel comfortable participating in them, to be honest,
he says, somewhat nervously.
I don't really like celebrating the holidays.
You don't? He turns to face me. In his eyes is nothing but honesty.
No. And to tell you the truth, I hate Tajdid al-Nar.
Chapter 2. Zahid's words hit me like an elephant dropped from the sky. He hates Tajdid al-Nar. My husband hates my favorite holiday. He doesn't want to participate. I think I'm going to have a crisis. But, I stutter. But why? How could you hate...
Oh, by Al-Shams, you're horrified,
he says. He looks scared of me.
I knew I shouldn't have told you.
No, it's fine. I stumble to recover myself.
You're getting mad.
He points at me.
You promised you wouldn't.
I hold my breath for a moment. Fine. I'm not mad. But, truly, how could you hate Tajdid al-Nar? Zahid shifts. He puts the pillow under his arm and says,
When I was a boy, you know as well as I do, Kuidas Aman didn't come to my house to deliver presents. My mother couldn't afford that type of thing. We barely had enough to eat as it was. The fast was daily life for us, not something we experienced once a year. She always felt awful we couldn't celebrate like normal people. Tajdid al-Nar became another way for my mother to feel like she'd failed.
She didn't fail. She loved you.
I know she didn't. I told her I didn't care about Tajdid al-Nar, but up until the moment she died, I knew she regretted never being able to give me the great holiday she wanted us to have.
Zahid sighs.
I've never had a good Tajdid al-Nar. The holidays after she died were even worse. I was usually alone or struggling to provide for my people. The best holiday I've ever had was the one I celebrated last year with you.
But that wasn't even as good as it can be, I argue. We had to throw it together because I became queen last year. We actually have time to enjoy it this year. I loved Tajdid al-Nar when I was growing up. It was so special. Quietly, I add, it was the only time of year that my family wasn't fighting.
And I know how important that is to you, and it would be wrong of me to take that away, he says, but I ask that you not force me to do things that I don't want to do.
I open my mouth to respond before I quickly shut it. I've been looking forward to this for months. Tajdid al-Nar's been the one bright spot in my life, keeping me cheerful ever since Ruku left Hayama. But how can I ask Zahid to celebrate the holidays with me when he has such horrible memories of it? I cannot. It would hurt him, and that I will not do.
I'll still participate in the fast and the feast, as I know those are royal obligations. You don't have to worry,
Zahid says quickly.
I'll still get you a present.
I don't care about presents, I argue. By Al-Shams, this is a nightmare. But I am sad. I just want you to have a good holiday.
I will, once it's over,
he says. What a horrible answer. It makes me depressed. Zahid notices the look on my face. He gives me another kiss and says,
Don't be upset. I'll do what I can to make this a good holiday for you. Don't worry about me. I don't want anything.
He lays back down and turns over to go to sleep. I flop onto my back and stare at the ceiling, deep in thought. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and Zahid knows it, but he doesn't mention it that morning when we get up. It's the first fasting day of Tajdid al-Nar, the holiday Zahid hates. Do you still wear that coat? I ask as we get dressed, wrinkling my nose in disgust. Zahid has owned that robe since I've known him, and probably years before that. He keeps it clean, but it's frayed and falling apart. It irritates me when he wears it. It's not something deserving of a sultan.
It suits me well and is comfortable. I do not need anything fancy. It still functions,
he replies. Zahid pulls on the coat, and another hole rips in the sleeve. I close my eyes, willing patience. He looks at the hole.
Very well. I suppose I must have a new coat. I'll have to order one tonight.
I will do it, I quickly volunteer. Don't bother yourself. He gives me a suspicious look.
As you request, my queen.
Zahid fastens the buttons on his old robe and says,
Will you come with me on a morning ride? It's beautiful out. Not too hot or cold.
Normally, I would say yes. I love morning rides on a mar. But right now, I'm not in the mood. Yet I don't want Zahid to think he's upset me. Go on ahead and get the horses ready, I say. I'll follow along in a moment. Zahid tilts his head before he decides it's best to give me a moment.
Very well. I'll be waiting.
Zahid leaves the room. All the air goes with him.
Hello?
A whiny, high-pitched voice comes from below me.
Let me out of here!
Poor Shadi is still locked inside the trunk. We forgot about him. He's been trapped inside all night. I unlock it and set his lamp on the side table. The moment his lamp is put down, Shadi comes furling out of it. His clothes and hair are askew. He looks positively mad.
My house is a mess! What were you two doing, going at it all night?
He gasps. More or less. I shrug and head over to the window. Sorry, we forgot about you.
I hate it when you two lock me in the trunk.
Shadi whines.
You know I can't get out of there.
I apologize, but you're too valuable to leave lying around. You must stay in our quarters, but sometimes Zahid and I want privacy.
Sometimes?
Shadi bursts.
I could just buy earplugs, you know.
I don't trust you to use them. I put my chin in my hand and stare out the window listlessly. My stomach growls with the hunger of the fast. As if it even matters.
You seem more melancholy than usual,
Shadi offers.
What's wrong?
Zahid hates Tajdid al-Nar, I say sadly. He doesn't want to celebrate the holidays this year.
That is unfortunate. I know the Raider Prince isn't the most pleasant person to be around, but I didn't think he was such a Scrooge.
Shadi makes a face. What's a Scrooge? I blink.
It's a jinn thing.
Shadi waves it off.
The ability to travel to different realms, interact with all the different dimensions in existence. He wouldn't understand.
I tap my fingers against my cheek. I don't know what it means or what he's talking about, but Scrooge seems like the perfect word to describe Zahid.
You really are taking this personally, aren't you?
Shadi asks.
Yes,
I yell.
Is it too much to have one thing go right around here? Everything's supposed to be wonderful and happy and perfect around the holidays, and now it's a mess again.
That's a bit overdramatic, don't you think?
Shadi asks. He raises his eyebrow.
It's just Tajdid al-Nar. It's not just Tajdid al-Nar,
I say, deepening my voice and mocking him.
By Al-Shams, you're as bad as he is.
Hey, I like Tajdid al-Nar.
He argues.
The feast is my favorite part.
I'm not surprised.
Don't be an ass.
Shadi's face sours.
What are you supposed to do? You can't force your husband to have a great time. Just let him be and enjoy the holidays by yourself.
With Shadi's words, it hits me. I have the perfect solution. My husband might not see how great the holidays are, but I'll make him see it.
Oh, no,
Shadi says.
I see that look. Please don't tell me you have an idea.
Of course I do. Zahid has had nothing but horrible holidays,
I say quickly.
The only way to make it right is to give him the perfect holiday.
Bennua,
I'll give him the best Tajdid al-Nar ever,
I say victoriously. I turn around and raise a fist into the air.
This holiday will be so amazing, so incredible, he'll have no choice but to love it.
Didn't you hear a word he said?
Shadi asks bluntly.
He doesn't want to participate.
He won't have to,
I say breathlessly.
I'll shower him with so much love that he'll change his mind by the time the new year comes around. Shadi, you are a genius.
Oh, by Al-Shams.
Shadi slaps himself in the face.
You're not going to make me help you, are you?
When he notices the devilish grin on my face, Shadi groans once again.
Of course you are. Marry Tajdid al-Nar to me.
Chapter 3. The next day, I begin a whirl of preparations. Yesterday I wasn't able to do anything, as the first day of Tajdid al-Nar is reserved for rest and prayer. No work. Zahid and I spent our time enjoying each other and lounging around. It was quite the perfect day. Well, except for one thing. There's temple services the first day of Tajdid al-Nar, and Zahid didn't show up to the service yesterday. I have no idea where he was, seeing as how the whole Sultanate is basically expected to be there. He's never come to temple services with me before, but seeing as how it's a holiday, I got my hopes up that he'd come. I got quite a few curious glances from the priests when I arrived alone for the ceremonies. I promised Zahid I wouldn't push him, but at the same time, I couldn't help but feel sad. I lied that he was tired from his trip, and left it at that. But today is the second day of Tajdid al-Nar. I finally get to set my plan in motion.
All right, Shadi,
I say as we enter the throne room.
To start, I'm going to need you to give me the most elaborate Tajdid al-Nar tree you can possibly conjure.
Palm trees are hard to find in the desert. Anything green is. Most people go without palm trees during the holidays for this very reason, choosing to put presents underneath beds instead. Even my father rarely had one decorated within the palace. But thankfully, I have a djinn on my side. I lock all the doors so nobody will catch Shadi and I doing magic. The rest of the servants are busy decorating the palace in the way I requested. Save for the southern door, which I leave unlocked just in case one of Shadi's disasters forces us to run, nobody can get in or out of the throne room.
Do we have time for this? The Raider Prince could walk in at any moment,
Shadi points out.
I got rid of him. I sent him to organize the parade. I say, he won't be back until tonight. And by that time, Shadi and I will have turned the palace into a wonderland. Zahid's going to be so surprised.
Whatever you say, my queen.
Shadi waves his hands, and before my eyes materializes a palm tree in a red and green pot that reaches to the top of the staircase. Shadi, I say bluntly, what is that?
What the hell does it look like?
He asks, gesturing to it.
It's a tree, Bennua.
It's tiny, I argue, pointing at it. I asked for a big tree, not a little thing like that.
That is a big tree,
Shadi rebukes.
bigger than most.
No, it doesn't work. I shake my head. Trust me, it must be bigger, or Zahid won't be impressed. Shadi sighs. He raises his hands, and the tree sprouts taller until it's hanging over the staircase.
How about now?
Shadi asks, glancing back at me. Sweat has beaded on his brow. Bigger, I say. I spread my arms out wide and jump up and down to emphasize. Oh, by Al-Shams. Shadi takes a deep breath, and his face turns pink. He makes a big swooping motion with his hips and waves his arms in a circle. This time, the tree grows more and more, but it doesn't stop when it reaches the ceiling. It curls over, the trunk widening and the leafy top drifting slowly to the floor. That's it! Now you're getting it! I say enthusiastically.
I can't make it stop!
Shadi screams. The palm leaves encompass him as the tree reaches the ground and curls upward again, growing once more toward the ceiling. Shadi gives a wail. It's almost there. Just about perfect. Miraculously, the tree stops growing at my command. That's just right. Thanks, Shadi. Shadi clambers out from the mass of palm tree leaves, drops to the floor, and looks up. His mouth hangs open.
Bennua, you can't be serious.
Just leave it, I say, waving my hand. It's ideal.
If you say so,
Shadi says, leaning away from the massive tree. It's like he's scared of it. Now for the decorations. I close my eyes and envision it. Ribbons of red hanging off the staircase and lanterns that glow green. Golden statues of camels and jinn and other creatures. Oh, and a crystal fountain in the shape of malaika wings.
Anything else?
Shadi asks sarcastically.
Wouldn't want it to be overdone.
Hand-painted glass ornaments to decorate the tree with, I say, and I bat my eyelashes. Please?
You should have saved your wishes for this.
Shadi grumbles. He waves his hands again, and everything I asked for appears within the throne room until it looks like a desert paradise instead of a palace, complete with the sparkling red ribbons and the green lanterns that I asked for. It sets the entire scene with the Tajdid al-Nar glow.
How about that?
Shadi asks. I turn in a circle and put a finger to my lips as I observe. It's almost right, I say, and Shadi groans.
What now?
He asks. That ribbon up there is crooked, I say. I point to it, attached to a corner of the ceiling. Can you straighten it out?
I don't have any more magic,
he complains.
You've exhausted it.
Well, go upstairs and fix it the old-fashioned way, I say, gesturing toward it.
What's wrong with you? You have legs.
I give him a look, and he sighs again.
Fine. Yes, fine. Whatever you say, my queen.
Shadi climbs the stairs, whimpering and whining. The ribbon is up at the topmost corner, so he has to stand on the edge of the banister to adjust it.
I hope you'll get me a good present for this,
He calls down. He's wavering back and forth on the banister, making me uneasy. Shadi isn't the most well-balanced, to say the least. I already got your present months ago, as I did everyone else's, I say. The only person who I don't have a present for yet is Zahid. His, I still have to finish.
You, make all the presents?
Yes, a little to the right. I usually sew them. They take weeks.
You really get into Tajdid al-Nar, don't you?
Shadi asks. Of course I do. It's only the holiday of all holidays. I close my one eye and bite my tongue between my teeth to inspect the bow. A little to the left. Shadi grunts as he adjusts the ribbon higher.
I'd figure you'd have your husband's done first.
His is the most complicated and took me a long time to decide what to make him, I say. He never asks or wants for anything.
Even so,
Shadi slips. He grabs onto the ribbon and falls off the banister until he's hanging by nothing but the thick fabric of the bow dangling from the banister. Shadi! I cry. I run underneath him and throw my arms up, willing to catch him before I realize how stupid this is. He's a fully grown djinn, and I'm a very small woman, not to mention he's carrying a little extra weight. He'll smush me if he comes down.
Ah!
Shadi cries, and the ribbon comes loose. I do the smart thing and get out of the way. Shadi goes swinging from one end of the ceiling to the other, flailing like a fish. Glass breaks and decorations are torn down as his legs kick wildly.
Shadi, stop it! You're ruining the decorations!
I whine as he smashes into the golden camel. He shatters it, along with the crystal fountain.
Help me!
Shadi cries as he comes swinging back down from the other side. I jump up to grab him, but miss as he picks up speed.
What's going on in here?
A familiar voice asks, and a pit forms in my gut. Zahid comes through the southern doorway, which is a sorry mistake for him. Shadi comes careening down and slams right into him, knocking him to the floor. I forgot two crucial details when sending Zahid to organize the parade. One, that he doesn't care about it, and two, that he's a man. He probably looked at everything and told them it was fine, whereas I would have speculated every tiny detail. I should have sent him out drinking instead.
Get off me, you big buffoon!
Zahid yells. He shoves Shadi away and climbs to his feet. His mouth drops open. But it's not in the way I wanted it to. The entire throne room is ruined. Most of the decorations Shadi destroyed while he was swinging around, except for the tree. Even worse, Shadi has no more magic, so the rest of my day is going to be spent cleaning this up.
Bennua, don't you think you went a little insane with the decorations?
Zahid asks. He gestures to the shattered camel, whose head is lying nearby. It looked a lot better before you got here, I grumble.
What the hell is this?
He asks. He points to the gigantic tree. Shadi lifts his head from the floor.
It's a tree. Are you people blind?
Yes, a Tajdid al-Nar tree, the biggest and the best, I say.
No, it isn't. People can't get around this,
Zahid argues. He takes out his sword and starts toward the tree.
It's completely impractical.
Zahid!
I start, but before I can stop him, he swings his sword and starts hacking away at the trunk. Every whack feels like it's going into me. When he's cut the tree into two pieces, what's left is a very long trunk and a tiny stump with a large and leafy head at the top.
There.
He steps back and observes his work.
Now it's better.
The tree is now crooked in the pot and looks more like a bush. I make a strangled noise.
My tree. You destroyed my beautiful tree.
I say weakly.
I improved it.
You mutilated it.
I glance at his blade.
And you ruined your sword.
It's merely a spare, not my true sword. It's getting sharpened, and it was worth destroying the sword to take down that monster.
Zahid says. I take a deep breath, hold it for a few moments, then promptly explode.
What is your problem? Are you determined to ruin Tajdid al-Nar?
I ask.
We're going to have a lot of people here on feast day. They wouldn't have fit with that big tree in the way.
Zahid argues.
I agree with that,
Shadi says, raising a limp hand.
Whose side are you on?
I shoot at him, and Shadi stays quiet.
We still have a tree,
Zahid insists.
Yes, it's a little different.
You've made it ugly!
I did not.
Zahid frowns.
I just wanted to help.
And I just want you to have a nice holiday.
I argue, and I stomp my foot.
But to be honest, it's really hard to enjoy Tajdid al-Nar when you're being such a stooge.
Scrooge,
Shadi emphasizes.
you're getting it wrong.
I have no idea what either of you are talking about,
Zahid says, and he shakes his head. I go to bite back a comment, but that familiar, fiery feeling inside me dies when I recognize it. Zahid and I are mostly teasing, me on the verge of being insanely irritated. But if I keep pushing this, we'll get into an argument. I don't want to fight with him. The last time we got into an argument, bad things happened. Zahid died. I nearly lost my sultanate and everything that matters to me. We haven't fought since the night I got him back. A strange thing for us, almost abnormal, but I don't want to break the peace between us. I'm scared to. If you fight with him, something bad will happen again, and it'll be your fault. There is a small chest full of hand-painted ornaments. They're the only thing not touched by disaster. I open the box with a sigh and start putting ornaments on my sad, unhappy tree.
I need to lie down.
Shadi groans. He appears very green, and not due to his natural jinn skin color. When he vanishes in a puff of smoke, Zahid appears by my side. He starts putting ornaments on the palm leaves, tying the strings tightly.
What are you doing?
I ask as he puts his ornament a little too close to mine. I have a particular inclination to space every ornament apart equally, but I resist the intense urge to move Zahid's ornament and leave it be.
Couples usually decorate the tree together, don't they? He asks. Or is it children? I really can't remember all these traditions.
It's couples, and you didn't want to take part this year. I remind him airily as I hang an ornament on my now mutilated plant.
I can help you decorate the tree.
He puts the rest of his ornaments next to mine in a messy fashion. It's like he doesn't know how. Then I realize he most likely doesn't know how. He probably never decorated the house with his mother. They certainly couldn't afford ornaments. This is nice, I say. I enjoy doing this with you.
I do too, he says, even though you're a pain in my ass.
He's trying to goad me, but I don't bite. I stay silent. He notices.
Bennua,
he says, and he pokes me in the side.
You're being quiet.
Because I don't want to get into anything.
I reply. I can't resist straightening at least one of his ornaments.
We've been doing well. We should keep it that way.
You should let me know how you feel. You've never had a problem speaking your mind before.
Zahid laughs.
I can let you know how I feel without yelling or criticizing you.
I say.
I don't need to always voice my opinions.
A little fighting isn't bad. It's healthy from time to time.
I scoff. If you say so.
We can still argue,
Zahid says.
It's not going to kill us.
I stumble. Zahid catches me by the arm and grimaces.
Poor choice of words, I suppose.
I gnaw at the inside of my cheek. Let's not talk about it. I stand back from the tree and tilt my head. The ornaments are all collected on one side, and the tree leans over under its own weight. It still looks like a bush, but in the dim light it appears rather pretty. Zahid puts his arm around my shoulders.
There. It isn't so bad, is it?
No. I lean into him. It's slightly less hideous. He laughs again.
Any other answer would have had me worried.
I suppose I should start picking this up, I say. I turn toward the mess with my hands on my hips. It looks like a sandstorm swept through here.
We'd better get started,
Zahid says. He picks up a broom that's leaning against the wall and starts sweeping the shattered remains of the crystal fountain across the floor. In Seiran, the men don't help with any sort of household work, especially cleaning. They leave it up to the women or servants. Most consider it beneath them. Zahid's gesture, it's kind and meaningful. You don't need to clean up this mess. I'm the one who made it, I say, and I raise my eyebrows. I mean, Shadi did, but I should have known better than to ask, honestly.
I'm not going to let you do it by yourself. Come.
Zahid and I spend the rest of the day cleaning up the mess and redecorating the throne room with the normal decorations the servants bring in. When it's done, it looks like the same old Tajdid al-Nar decorations that were up when I was a child. But it's still beautiful all the same. There's a bit of old magic in bringing back things year after year. As the sun sets, Zahid grabs my hand.
The fast is over for today. Let's get some supper, enjoy the night festivities, and head off to bed.
Zahid nestles his head in my hair and kisses my neck. Goosebumps rise over my flesh and shiver down my spine. I don't deserve him. Tomorrow, I need to do better.
Bennua! Bennua, all is well. Wake up!
Someone is shaking me. It's the middle of the night, past midnight, but not late enough to be the darkest hour of morning. The only light that exists in my black world is the blinking of stars and the flash of fire as someone ignites an oil lamp next to the bedside. I'm still screaming. The noises my throat makes. My God, I can't believe I'm making them. My body still vibrates with aftershocks. My heartbeat is pounding so fiercely. It's about to spring out of my chest or come up my throat and choke me. I gasp for breath. Although my lungs take in air, it still feels like I'm drowning. I can't breathe.
Bennua, my love, it's all right.
Zahid lifts me to a sitting position. I'm still gasping. Phantoms and shadows linger along the walls, waiting to grab me, grab us. Blood. There's blood blossoming through Zahid's clothes, staining the white fabric red. I rip his shirt. Buttons go scattering across the floor. I run, shaking hands over his abdomen, his chest, to make sure he's all right and there are no holes. My fingers quiver as they run down the length of his spine. There is no blood, no wounds from arrows. I imagined it. When I see he is fine and nothing ill has befallen him, my face melts. I crumble into pieces, put my head into my hands, and sob loudly. Zahid doesn't ask questions. He just brushes the hair out of my face and attempts to calm me down. I feel horrible. This is the 4th night this month I've woken him up, but not so dramatically. Mostly it's just a few quick screams or me floundering for him recklessly in my sleep to make sure he's still there. I've never completely panicked in the middle of the night. Ever since it happened, I've had terrible nightmares. For months. Despite trying everything, I can't get rid of them. I tried to suppress them, but stuffing them down only makes them come back with a vengeance. I won't go through it again. I weep. I will not.
What won't you go through again? Bennua, answer me.
Zahid says, and he puts a hand on my cheek. His touch is so real, I flinch away.
I will not watch you die,
I wail. By Al-Shams, I'm breaking apart.
I can't stand to lose you one more time. If you leave me again and Al-Shams sees fit for you to die before my time, I will take a dagger and end my suffering.
Don't speak of such things,
Zahid says roughly. He grabs me sharply.
I never want to hear that come out of your mouth again. Do you hear me? Not ever.
It is the truth, I say. I cannot bear to lose you. If someone takes you from me again, I will not recover. I cannot. My soul has had enough. Al-Shams will take you and I will follow right after.
I'm not going anywhere.
Zahid pulls me inward and presses me to his chest. The confident sound of his heartbeat, beating wildly, calms me. He is still here, alive.
You listen to me,
Zahid says strictly. His arms tighten around me as if he's terrified I'm going to escape out of them and be lost forever.
If something happens to me, you will not take your own life. Swear it.
I can't, I say.
I'm still weeping.
I've tried once to live without you, and I don't have the strength. You are my other half, my everything. I was lost before I met you.
Zahid rocks me back and forth. He nestles his head against mine. My breathing calms, and I begin to steady.
Zahid,
I sob.
Please.
He knows what I need without even having to ask. He trails kisses down my neck. His hands gently push away the silk gown that's around my shoulders, softly undoing the ties that bind the dress to me. He throws the silk aside and moves over me, pressing his weight into my body to assure me that he's still there. His arms fold around me as a fortress, boxing me in and providing safe walls. I can't do this anymore. I can't endure the nightmares and mental torture my mind is putting me through. I need to become lost. The terrifying images and torturous memories fade away as Zahid begins to heal my soul. When he nestles himself inside my body, I hold him close as he moves so he won't go anywhere. I don't want to worry him. I just want the fear to go away. Chapter 4. The next morning, when we're getting ready, I attempt to act as casual as possible. It's not working. My hands still shake and my eyes scamper. There's a paleness to my face and weariness from lack of sleep. I'm not well. We haven't said a word to each other all morning. When we woke up, Zahid just stared at me. And stared and stared. I wasn't able to decipher what was in his eyes. When we're fully dressed, I say quietly, "We should go. The council is waiting."
I think we need to talk about what happened last night,
Zahid says, intently. I freeze. I'm a little ashamed. In the dark, immediately after my nightmares, my words were bare and honest, so real. They seem foolish and childish in the morning light. But that doesn't make what I said any less true, because I meant every word of it. Zahid senses my embarrassment. He crosses his legs on the bed and opens up his arms.
Come here.
I sit on his lap. He folds his arms around me. I lean my cheek against his, savoring the sound of his breathing. Alive. Not dead. Alive.
What was that about?
He says. I don't want to talk about it.
I'm not giving you a choice. Bennua, you're scaring me.
I fiddle with my fingers and curl further into his lap. Just arrows and blood and ruku. I shudder. I see it again and again. Each night I relive it.
I am here,
Zahid says. You might not always be. I tuck my head into his shoulder. That's what makes the dreams real.
Our lives are risky, especially mine. We will not be able to go forever without fighting or war.
Zahid starts.
Anything could happen to me at any time, and you need to reconcile yourself with that.
It is impossible, I whisper. I cannot accept that I am so powerless.
Enough. Do you know what that does to me? To imagine you hurting yourself.
Zahid's body shudders. I hate that I'm putting him through this.
I have to know that if I die, you will go on.
I do not want to go on, I say.
I'm sorry, Bennua, but what you want and what the world needs are two different things.
Zahid says softly.
You are a queen, the only one in our continent to rule. You are the only person in Seiran who is installing rights for women, access to education, and who is creating a better world. If you forfeit your life, you forfeit everything we've worked for and all that we've done. People will mourn me if I pass, but they will suffer tremendously if you are gone.
I do not believe I'm so important, I argue, looking at him.
You are. Everyone can see it but yourself.
Zahid pulls back.
I sacrificed myself so you could live, and I'd do it again. In a heartbeat, Bennua, I would. If I'm willing to die for you, you should be willing to live for me.
You're asking too much of me, I whimper. I would die for you as well, but to live without you? To go through the years lonely and alone? That is harder than dying.
I swear that I will do everything in my power to make sure that never comes to pass, he says. I will not leave you unless Al-Shams drags me back to the afterlife, and even then, I will fight. I adore you far too much.
He holds me. I embrace him back, closing my eyes and enjoying his scent.
I love you,
he whispers. He kisses my lips softly.
Please don't torture me with thoughts like this ever again.
I love you too, I reply, returning the kiss. And I won't. He scratches his beard.
We have to do something about these nightmares. They're not helping you.
He sighs.
And they're making both of us lose sleep.
I can talk to the physician, I mumble. See if he can give me a tonic that will stop any dreams I may have.
Very well.
His hand travels down my back.
I'll go with you after the council meeting.
I shake my head. No, I need time to finish your gift. I don't want you to see it. It's a surprise. He smiles.
I suppose that reminds me. I need time to work on your gift as well.
What is it? I perk up, interested.
If I told you, it wouldn't be a surprise, now would it?
Zahid seems particularly secretive. My mind whirls with all the things he could have planned. What is my Raider Prince up to?
Bennua?
Zahid says as we head out the door, and I pause. I look over my shoulder at him, and he adds,
Will you rest today, please? For me? I know how hard you've been working to make this a good holiday for your family, especially for me. I'd like you to take some time for yourself.
I pause, then add, Yes, Zahid, I suppose you're right. I'll be gentle with myself today. He nods as if reassured, or at least a little more relaxed than he was when we awoke. After the council meeting, which was dull, as usual, and visiting the physician, I hurry off to the opposite side of the palace. I told Zahid I need time to finish his present, but in reality, I need time to do all the other things I have planned for him this year. I'll work on his gift tonight, beneath candlelight while he's sleeping. It's not like I'm going to get any sleep anyway. Tajdid al-Nar won't be able to eliminate the memory of Ruku killing my husband, but it's a distraction that can mask it for a while. Make sure to make all the Sultan's favorites, I say to the head cook as I bustle throughout the kitchens, Shadi behind me. I don't care what it costs, even the red wine. The feast preparations are today, the parade being tonight. The next few days I'll be too busy with festivities, so I have to get everything done today. The smell of food in the kitchens is intoxicating, and my stomach growls. But everyone has to follow the fast, so I refuse my hunger and say, This will be the biggest feast Hayama has ever had. Open the doors to everyone. We will have enough food to feed a nation. You're going to make the Sultanate bankrupt, Shadi says, as he looks at the long list in my hand. The greatest Tajdid al-Nar ever, I remind Shadi. We'll have to reach out to the men's choir tonight. We need to rehearse for the candlelight walk. Oh, by Al-Shams, not that horrendous choir, Shadi moans. If you think you can do any better, by all means, teach them. I snap. I'm busy. Shadi notices me getting short with him. He navigates me into a corner of the kitchen where we are more or less unheard. Bennua, this is about more than giving Zahid a good holiday, isn't it? Shadi asks. No, I say. I try to sidestep around him, but he plants himself in front of me. Zahid confessed to me what you told him, Shadi says quietly. He couldn't keep it to himself. His mind is heavy with it. He nearly cried while telling me. I still. Shadi takes it as an opportunity to proceed. He made me swear that if anything happened to him, that I would do everything in my power to make sure you stay alive. He's very worried about you. There's nothing to worry about. I'm fine. I mumble. Shadi gives me a fond look and says, In all my millennia, you are the closest friend I've ever had. I've even come to think of you as a daughter, in a way. Oh, Shadi, that's so sweet. I smile. Shadi smiles back, but the grin falters. He is right, you know. If something happens, you need to go on. I don't want to talk about it, I stutter out. I walk forward. Shadi falls in beside me. Don't ruin the present by thinking of what could be, he says quietly. The Raider Prince loves you. I fiddle with my skirt. I know he does. I look up. I'm just trying to thank him for all the love he's given me. You don't need to do all these things to convince yourself that you're worthy of the Raider Prince's love, Shadi insists. He loves you just as you are. No, I insist, before leaving Shadi behind. I must prove I deserve him and make up for my mistakes. This is the only way. The rest of my day is spent fixing the parade. Zahid really did tell them it looked fine. It was most definitely not fine. In the evening, I organized the candlelight walk and put the finishing touches on the feast menu. Shadi went to teach the men's choir how to sing. I don't have much hope, but I'm glad he's out of my way. His questions were bothering me in a way I did not wish to face. I don't see Zahid all day. Whatever he's planning for me. It must have taken him some time to get it finished. I finished the preparations in the kitchen, where I started. I'm swaying on my feet, though I account it to being so tired due to a lack of sleep. "Are you all right, my queen?" a servant asks, peering at me. "You're a little pale." I'm well," I say. "Just a little lightheaded." I grab onto the corner of a table to keep myself steady. The room is wavering like sand on a dune. Unexpectedly, the scene changes. I'm no longer in the kitchens. I'm outside on the palace steps, and my husband is in my arms, and he's dying, and Ruku is above me. The vision contorts and twists. I'm in the gardens, and I'm wearing a pink and green wedding gown. Ruku is across from me. He's grinning in a sick way as I proceed toward him. I'm willing to bargain my body for a chance to get my sultanate back. "My queen, you're bleeding!" the servant shouts. The world snaps back into place, and I raise my hand. I cut my palm on a knife that was near the corner as I scrabbled to ground myself. Lately, Zahid has made a habit of walking in at the worst possible time. Now is no exception. I turn my back in an attempt to hide the blood, but he sees. "Bennua," he says. With no regard as to what anyone thinks, he snatches my wrist and drags me to the wash basin. He cleans the wound, looking at it. Thankfully, it's not deep. I'm hardly there. My mind is somewhere else. "Bandages, for Al-Sham's sake," he snaps at the servants. And they hustle off. When they come back, he wraps my hand tightly before raising my palm to his lips to kiss it gently. When he lowers my hand, he's glaring at me. Those dark eyes bring me out of it. "You didn't do as I asked, did you?" he says bluntly. "What?" I say, a little more consciously. I remember what I was doing and why I'm here.
"The fast ended 2 hours ago. You haven't eaten anything since last night."
His tone is deep and stern. He's mad. I have made my husband angry. Oh well, don't hate Tajdid al-Nar so much and I won't have to take such drastic measures.
"You are going to eat."
Zahid lifts me up and helps me walk to a table, though he's more or less carrying me. He sits me down in a chair and orders the cooks to make me something. "I'm not hungry," I complain.
"Your body needs food,"
he says, sitting in the chair across from me and crossing his arms.
"and I'm going to sit here and make sure you eat every single bite."
"This is so unnecessary," I grumble.
"My dear, you have made it necessary."
My stomach growls. Zahid smirks in triumph, and I groan. "All right, fine. A quick bite." The food comes, a bowl of lamb and chickpea soup. It smells so good. My mouth starts watering. Truth be told, I'm ravenous, but I'm not going to tell my husband that. He keeps his word and watches me eat coyly. A knowing glint enters his eyes when I begin shoveling the soup into my mouth faster than usual. By Al-Shams, I hate it when he's right, which is all the time. I push my bowl aside when I'm done and say, "There, every last bite, as you said." I rise to my feet and turn to head off. "Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some things to attend to."
"Not so fast,"
Zahid says, snagging my wrist. I try to wrench away, but his grip is firm. He takes my hand and says,
"You're going to follow me."
"You're being very bossy tonight," I complain.
"You're my wife. I think it's about time you learn to listen to me.
There's a huskiness to his voice, which piques my interest. It definitely makes me follow him far more willingly. I allow him to drag me out of the kitchens and up the stairs. We enter our room, and he lets me go. He leans against the door, props a leg up against it, and lets his hair fall into his eyes. Incredible. I could look at him every day for the rest of my life and never tire of it.
Take your clothes off,
he says, in a way that makes it known it's not a request. I am more than willing. As you wish, I say flirtatiously, and begin pulling off articles of clothing. I discard my veil slowly, letting it drop to the floor behind me, and slide my robe off my shoulders. He reaches out his hand for my clothes. I give them to him piece by piece, and he holds on to them. I make a good show of taking off my top and skirt. I burn while his eyes are on me, handing over the last piece of clothing I have and leaving myself completely nude. Is this what you wanted? I ask, twirling around. His gaze is set on me. It observes my body hungrily, and I ready myself for him to attack. This will be a good ending to a disastrous day. He smiles broadly. Good, he says. He bunches up my clothes and tucks them into his side. Now you are going to stay here and rest while I take care of some things. My mouth drops open. What? Zahid! I don't have any clothes here in our bedroom. We have too many. They are stored in our closet down the hall. The servants bring them in each morning. If Zahid doesn't give me my clothes back... I lunge for them, but he holds them high above his head, too far to reach. Give them back! I have to go! I say, and I jump up to grab them. He laughs. Unless you want the entire palace to see the queen in all her glory, you'll want to stay put. He tucks the clothes behind his back. I fume. There's no way I'll be able to get them back now, not without ripping them at least. The dirty, tricky thief. I should have put more thought into who I married. Zahid, I whine. Please stop with the games. I have very important work to get done. This isn't a game, he suddenly says, very seriously. I am doing what is needed to keep you well. Whatever do you mean? I ask, throwing my arms skyward. He's so frustrating. Isn't it obvious? You're exhausted. Zahid's gaze softens. You nearly fainted. What would have happened if I had been there to help you? You could have gotten hurt. I'm starting to give in. I'm fine, I say. I truly am. No, I asked you to rest today and you didn't do so, Zahid says, rather gently. This is so unlike you. You always give me choices, I say, crossing my arms. You've told me before you don't like ordering me around. You know I would never go against your desires unless I had to. And Bennua, I have to. You're making yourself sick. Though he disguises it, his tone is thick with worry. It's for a good cause, I say. You'll see. He shakes his head. I don't believe so. This is your favorite time of year and you're wasting it on being upset. You're working so hard on whatever it is you're trying to do that you can't enjoy the season. I can't enjoy it unless you enjoy it too, I insist, uncrossing my arms and placing my hands upon his chest. I want you to have a wonderful tajdid al-nar. Is that what this is about? His eyes widen. Bennua, I've told you how I feel about all of this. I ask you to respect my beliefs. I do, but... I let out a huff of frustration. But you won't go to temple services with me, or pray with me, or anything.
I wish you'd let me have this. At least it's a holiday we can celebrate together, so we can be happy and make memories.
I understand that. However,
Something in the air changes. It modifies the argument from one of frustration to curiosity. I move forward, listening.
my faith in Al-Shams is new.
Zahid drops his voice to a low tone of intimacy. I press into him to hear him easier.
Al-Shams saved my life, restored me to you, and took herself in my place. But it's overwhelming.
He lets out a shaky breath. I wrap my arms around him to comfort him. It's everything I can do to keep from shaking. We had promised so many times we wouldn't talk about this, yet it keeps coming back to haunt us.
I've seen things that most priests can't even imagine. I've experienced death, witnessed the afterlife, and it's still so hard for me to comprehend.
He scratches his head.
Sometimes it feels like I can't.
Faith isn't a sure-footed road. It's a very rocky path.
I tell him.
Don't feel bad because it's not working out as you think it should. It's part of the process.
Zahid sighs.
Give me time. Please. I'm not used to this faith.
His eyes darken, and I tilt my head.
This is new to me. I was practically forced into it because I was confronted with the truth. I can no longer deny Al-Sham's existence as I once did, but I'm not ready to go to temple or pray or do any of those things. I need time to grow.
He brushes back a strand of my hair.
Don't you think I want to pray with you? That would be beautiful, Bennua. One of the most intimate things we could do together. But it still feels silly to me. Like I'm talking to someone who isn't there.
Al-Shams always hears you, Zahid, even if it's just a secret thought you've pressed into yourself.
I say, to encourage him.
I don't see how anyone couldn't hear you, especially not Al-Shams. She loves you, even more than I do.
Oh, Bennua.
He leans forward and presses his lips to my temple.
There you go, saying beautiful things. Your faith is so strong, unable to be wavered, and you've only seen parts of Al-Shams. I've seen it all, and I still struggle to believe.
This is difficult for me to understand. I've always believed, from the moment Al-Shams was introduced to me. I've always had an unexplainable, special bond with the Phoenix God. Zahid has watched miracles be performed, become a miracle himself, and his soul still wants to run and hide. Visiting the afterlife fixed some things, but it did not fix everything. Zahid is still very broken, and despite him not telling me this, he hates himself for it. I know him so intimately. I realize it without him having to say it aloud. The realization is so painful, it's like a knife diving into my heart. I can't stand the thought of Zahid hating himself. I would much rather he hate me, hate the whole world. I don't know what to say, exactly, but I decide to speak from the heart.
Don't be afraid of being let down again,
I say. I run my fingers over his beard and add,
I know you've had a hard life and have seen devastating things, but Al-Shams won't fail you. He's not going to hurt you, Zahid. This I promise.
It is hard being married to someone like you.
Zahid nearly whispers.
Your faith is big and incredible, and mine is so small. My belief feels insignificant and unwanted when compared to yours.
This stuns me. Zahid feels intimidated by my faith. I never wanted to make you feel that way.
It's not your fault.
He cups my face in his hand.
It's who you are, as much as doubt is who I am.
He chuckles.
We are two sides of the same coin, as always.
I chew on my lip. I'm not trying to pressure you into anything. Never, Zahid. I feel awful that you didn't get to have a good holiday with your mother before she passed, and haven't had a good Tajdid al-Nar since. You've given me so much, and I feel as if I've given you so little. What I've gifted you may as well be nothing in comparison.
What?
His mouth drops open.
How can you say that? Bennua, you've given me everything. Don't ever believe that you haven't.
His hand weaves into my hair, and his thumb strokes the back of my neck.
Where would I be without you? You saved my life. I was a shell before you came to Ashana. A body existing but not truly living. You've given me life. I cannot imagine a world without you.
I love you very much, Zahid, I say. My eyes are starting to water. Damn me, I'm getting emotional again. I want to show you how much. I want you to have a good Tajdid al-Nar.
Bennua, you show me you love me every day in so many incredible ways.
Zahid tells me lovingly.
You don't have to go out of your way just because of the time of year.
But I do. My arms around his waist tighten. Every second of your life I want to make special, but this even more so. I want you to know how happy you can be, how much love and joy you can experience.
I can't imagine being any happier than what I am right now.
Zahid presses his face into my hair, and a bit of wetness graces my scalp. Are those tears?
By Al-Shams, it's so incredible how much you love Bennua. I'll never be able to get over it.
You love me just as much, I say back to him, my voice muffled by his shirt.
In that we are equals.
Zahid pulls away and looks at me. His expression is like the sun, warm and happy and full of light. His smile, I could go on for years and years remembering it. He is all I want and all I need. I press my face into his chest and whisper, "Will you let me out now?" Zahid laughs. He backs away out of my arms. The scared open man is gone, and the raider prince is back.
I don't think so.
He shakes his head.
You're not wiggling out of this one.
Where are you going? I ask as he proceeds toward the door.
I have business to attend to,
Zahid tells me.
I will be back tonight.
He seems to change his mind halfway there and turns to face me. He strides forward and grabs my chin. He lifts my eyes to his and says,
I suggest you don't leave this room. If you call for servants to bring you clothes, I will know about it.
He smirks deliciously.
And I promise, Bennua, you won't like what will happen if you disobey me.
His mouth is feverishly upon mine, leaving me breathless. When he pulls away, I reach for him, wanting more, but he refuses my advancements. His hand is on the door. His eyes search me up and down one last time, slowly, hovering in all the right places before locking a smoldering gaze with mine. Despite myself, I blush. When he closes the door behind him, the spell is broken. I let out an aggravated noise. "Stupid Zahid!" I announce to no one but myself. "With his sensuality and silly games and kisses and beautiful body." He insinuated one thing and ended up giving me another. I am not happy. A thought crosses my mind of what Zahid's punishment could possibly be. What will he do if I do call for servants to get clothes and leave this room? He'll be all hot and bothered when he returns. Perhaps he'll throw me on the bed and have his way with me. Or maybe he will punish me with something dirty. I shake myself. I need to stop. Thoughts like this aren't going to help me give him the best tajdid al-nar ever. I cannot be distracted. I'm on a mission. Feeling rather exposed, I sit on the bed and pull the blanket up over my body. A thought crosses my mind. What Zahid said about Al-Shams bothers me, in a way that it hasn't before. He nearly acts scared of Al-Shams, or even scared at what his faith could do. It was far too emotional and heavy of a conversation for me to have nude, that's for sure. But though I wasn't wearing clothes, Zahid was far more exposed tonight than I could ever be. His agony wounds me, in places where it hurts even to move. I long for his heart to mend. I wish I could take his pain and suffering into my hands and mold it. Turn it into something new. Something in his life that isn't so easily shattered. Chapter 5. As I did what Zahid requested and didn't leave the room, he ended up rewarding me instead of punishing me, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Afterward, we watched the parade together from our balcony. It wasn't as bad as I had worried it would be. On the contrary, it was actually quite good. Zahid's eyes glimmered with the lights and the dancing of the horses. Maybe things will work out better this holiday without me trying to manage them. On day 4 of Tajdid al-Nar, Zahid doesn't leave my side. I know it's on purpose. He's making sure I don't overwork myself again, but I'm happy to say I finished everything yesterday. Today is the day the festival begins in town, and is the day when most of the kingdom does their shopping. Zahid and I enjoy the festival, take part in the games, and watch the horse races. When darkness settles and stars fall over the city, Zahid and I return to the palace to don robes made of navy velvet. The cloaks are interwoven with diamonds, traditional wear for starlit night. They are expensive, only reserved for royals. We meet the people of Hayama on the palace steps. Most of them are dressed in black. They cheer when we emerge. The place where Zahid died in my arms is underfoot, but I suppress a shudder and force a smile. The priests give Zahid and myself candles. We proceed behind the choir, who has taken up the head of the congregation. My family is behind us, and the council behind them, with the rest of the citizens of Hayama following the procession. The priests continue to distribute and light candles.
Where do you want me? I don't know where to go,
Shadi says, looking around him. Get behind me, Shadi, I say, and I hand him a candle. The choir begins to walk, and the rest of us follow. The journey will continue through all the streets of Hayama until it returns to the palace. We will make a circle around the city and visit the houses of those who are too sick or old to join in the walk, and sing Tajdid al-Nar carols to them. Dark, sacred night, with light of our soul shining, upon this night our phoenix lingers near. Bravely Al-Shams teach us compassion for our brother, and in your name let there be love and peace. You did make the choir sound better by some miracle, I whispered to Shadi. How'd you do it? Magic?
No magic in the world could have fixed that, my dear,
Shadi replies.
That takes talent.
Thank you, Shadi. I cannot sing, But I like praising Al-Shams all the same, so I sing as loudly as I can along with the rest of the people of Hayama. Shadi winces at the sound of my off-tune voice and moves away to be closer to the choir. Instead of singing, Zahid is humming along. To be honest, he can't sing either. I've heard him. We're both awful. Yet I don't believe that's the reason he's not joining in.
Don't know the words?
I ask.
Not really,
He confesses.
but it's a pretty song.
Zahid doesn't even know any holiday songs. How can I expect him to celebrate with me? He might as well be a foreigner among us. It's almost cruel. No wonder he doesn't want to participate. He must feel like an outcast. Never. So long as he is with me, he will always, always belong.
The procession on starlit night signifies the darkness that is the world and the light of our souls searching for Al-Shams.
I tell him.
It's one of my favorite nights of Tajdid al-Nar.
It's quite grim,
Zahid looks around.
nearly like a funeral procession.
It is. It is death to ourselves so that we might rise again and give birth to a better person.
I say.
Did you have these traditions in Ashana during Tajdid al-Nar?
My people have them all, but, as I said before, I never participated.
He glances up to the moon.
But sometimes I watched. I always liked watching.
The walk takes a few hours, after which the first of several parties breaks out. Shadi immediately gets into the wine. I can tell Zahid is ready to turn in, so I bid my people good night and follow him inside. After the candlelight ceremony, when Zahid is sound asleep, I sneak out of bed and put the final stitches into his present. I wrap it quietly and slip back under the covers just as sunrise creeps over the desert. I get a few hours of rest before I have to bustle down to the kitchens. Zahid won't be able to keep an eye on me today. As the queen, I'm overseeing the preparation of the food, while Zahid guides the men in setting up the vast amounts of tables and chairs we'll need for the feast.
Will you be all right?
Zahid asks, curling an arm around my waist and snagging me before I slip into the kitchens.
I'll be fine,
I say. I give him a light kiss, out of sight of the servants.
If I need you, I will call.
I will be nearby.
Zahid doesn't let my fingertips drift away from his until he's too far away for his arm to reach. I count his footsteps as he walks away until he's out of my sight. Throughout the day, Shadi keeps slipping in to peek at all the dozens of dishes we're making. He's practically drooling all over the food.
You're getting in my way,
I say, and I shove him aside as I place a newly made batch of baklava on the table.
Can't you wait?
But I'm so hungry,
Shadi whines.
I just want to smell it.
You act like I don't know how you feel. Do you know how difficult it is to cook when you're fasting?
I hiss.
It's nearly impossible. I'm starving.
Thank Al-Shams the fast ends tonight. I can't spend another day hungry. I chase Shadi out with a towel and get back to cooking. When we're so blissfully close to being ready to start the feast, the rest of the women and I begin transitioning the dishes from the kitchen to the feasting tables in the throne room. The tables wrap around the entire area in a giant circle. People from all over the Sultanate will line up to be served here. It comforts me that everyone in my kingdom will have a warm meal tonight. I can't give everyone a wonderful Tajdid al-Nar, but I can at least make sure my people eat, even just for one day. When I'm about to move the 50th dish of beef kebab we've made, my sister Patina stops me. She grabs me by the arm and halts me in place.
What now?
I sigh dramatically, assuming the cooks have dropped another roast lamb.
We need to speak with you,
my mother says. My sisters, all 6 of them, swarm around me like vultures on a carcass.
Your husband has hardly put any effort into the holidays this year, Dua says. It's offensive. People are starting to notice.
Excuse me? I ask, though it's not really a question.
It's become obvious that he isn't exactly enjoying the ceremonies. If he doesn't show up to temple services tomorrow night, your subjects would be offended. No one wants an infidel lording over them,
Estilla explains. Her voice is kind, and she means well, but her words, they make me so angry. Yes, I'm upset with Zahid for the same reasons my family is. His behavior isn't presentable, and a little off-putting. I want him to enjoy Tajdid al-Nar as much as everyone else. But unlike them, I am not willing to force Zahid into doing something he does not want to do. I won't do what my family did to me for so many years. I will not make him do anything, ever. The prospect of controlling him in that way makes me want to call the holidays off. I take a deep breath and face my sisters. You will show the Sultan respect, I say harshly. He has been through much and has his reasons for not celebrating as the rest of us do. If he wants to forsake Tajdid al-Nar altogether, I am willing to let him.
Bennua, that is simply not acceptable. Mother butts in. You must demand he take a greater role when your father was Sultan. No, Mother. That is not how it's going to be. I say sharply. I am the queen and you are living in my palace. This is my sultanate and I have sovereignty over all of you. None of you will utter another word about my husband in my presence or anyone else's. He and I will celebrate the holidays as we see fit, not as you think we should. I storm off before I say anything else, or before I have to call the guards to haul my family away. Wouldn't that be a scandal? I will always defend Zahid. No matter if he is wrong or right, or if I agree with him, no one is allowed to criticize or condemn my husband. Perhaps this doesn't have to be the best holiday ever. Maybe for Zahid, good enough is good enough. I'm finally, slowly, beginning to understand him. The feast is finally ready. Zahid returns from organizing the tables outside. His smile is bright, like he was enjoying himself. Probably telling jokes and messing around with the other men.
What's wrong?
He asks instantly when he sees me. I wipe the sour look off my face and replace it with a smile. Nothing, I tell him gently, and I stroke his lower back lightly before anyone sees. Let's eat. I load Zahid's plate with shish tawuk, samosas, biryani, and kheer before reaching for my own. A few hours later, after the food has settled and the conversation has died down, the band strikes up. People push the tables out of the way and begin to dance, filling the room with laughter and music. Obviously, I join in. It has been forever since I last expressed joy through my body. Servants and subjects alike cheer when I rise from my seat, and part the way as I begin to twirl in a circle, the gap widening as I dance. Zahid doesn't join in, but he watches me. I don't think his eyes leave me the entire time. It only makes me dance better. My sisters and mother observe us with judgmental eyes. Let them. I do not care for their opinions. When I'm tired out and can dance no more, I return to Zahid's side. I think I'm done for the night. I rush. Far, far too much wine.
Then you must put down your goblet, or you won't be sober enough to enjoy tomorrow.
He teases. Under the table, he tugs lightly on my skirt. Through the buzz of the wine, my curiosity is tickled. What do you mean? What do you have planned?
It's something you'll like,
he promises, and his eyes glitter.
You'll see.
Chapter 6.
I have no idea what Zahid has planned on the 6th day, but I follow his requests to meet him the next morning at the bottom of the staircase without asking any questions.
Are you down there?
Zahid calls from up above. I haven't seen him all morning. He was gone when I got up. What's he up to?
I'm here!
I shout. I even wore the colors he requested today, a red and green mantle.
What's all this about?
Zahid steps out. He wears a velvet red robe, the hood hiding his hair, and tall black boots. He holds his arms out as he descends the staircase and grins.
Oh, by Al-Shams!
I put a hand over my mouth and chuckle as he reaches the bottom.
You're Quitus Aman!
Don't laugh,
he says.
You're my helper.
He opens the door. Outside, a camel is hooked to a cart, and large velvet bags stuffed with toys sit inside of it. Servants are circled around the cart. They are dressed in robes that are less elaborate, but in the same colors as mine. A few musicians are positioned at the front of the cart. They play a Quitus Aman song. Zahid gets on the cart and takes the reins. I sit beside him. As the cart clatters through the city streets, children come screaming out of their homes. They have wide smiles and large, sparkling eyes. The servants begin distributing toys among them. Wooden horses, leather balls, tiny dolls with handmade dresses, and soft cakes and sweets. The children are more preoccupied with the presence of their hero, Quitus Aman, than presents and shiny things. The children climb up onto the cart and sit on Zahid's lap. They whisper in his ear what they want for Tajdid al-Nar. I want one so badly. Zahid plays the part well. He deepens his voice and holds the children and lets them ride on the camel as we go down every road and side street in Hayama, until even the poorest districts have been visited and every child in the city has a toy. It's ridiculously attractive how good he is with kids. He really loves giving things away to children. He'd make such a good father.
And you're the reason he isn't.
Stop. I whisper to myself. Zahid catches my small whisper.
What's wrong?
He asks as we head back to the palace. By this time it's twilight, and the land is growing even colder. We've been at this all day. I shiver.
Just bad thoughts, I suppose.
I wrap my mantle closer around my body.
They've been plaguing me recently. Care to share?
No. I look away from him.
I don't want to bother you with it. You aren't bothering me. They're not real in any case.
I let out a short breath.
Just scary. And a little mean.
Zahid raises an eyebrow and gives me one of those looks that I can't escape from.
I merely wish we had one of our own,
I confess.
It's nice being able to give the children in our sultanate a good holiday, but Tajdid al-Nar is more special when you have a son or daughter to spoil. And if it wasn't for me... It's not your fault, he says instantly. We're trying.
I know we are. I settle against the cart.
But I want to know why it hasn't happened already. Or rather, why Al-Shams doesn't see me fit to be a mother. Don't say that. The time isn't now,
he replies. He waits for a moment, then adds,
It's not just that, though, is it?
No, I shrug.
My thoughts. They're about a lot of things, I suppose. And I don't believe they'll go away anytime soon. To convince yourself otherwise would be cruel. But you seem better today.
Softly, he adds,
It's the first I've seen you truly happy since Ruku left our borders.
I am happy. I adjust my veil.
But a little sad underneath it all.
He takes my hand.
We'll get through it. Together.
Then adds, as an afterthought,
And as far as children, well, let's get around to making some so they can be around by next Tajdid al-Nar.
I don't think it's possible. I can't conceive, or I would have by now, I say sorrowfully.
How do you know we're not trying hard enough?
Zahid laughs lowly. I smirk. I think we've got that part handled. Zahid laughs again, and I lean against him as the camel jogs into the stables. I can only hope for a bit of Tajdid al-Nar magic. Maybe soon my wish will be granted. Chapter 7. I wake up to the sound of birds singing the next morning. It is as if the whole world is proclaiming Al-Sham's glory. And today is my most favorite of all days. I bolt upright, jump out of bed, and rush to the window. I yank the curtains open, feeling like belting out a Tajdid al-Nar carol. It's a beautiful morning, quiet, still, and the most gorgeous I've ever seen. A giant red orb rises over the desert. The light of Al-Shams bathes everything in a white and golden haze. Today, it's almost like heaven has reached earth. I run back to bed and jump on it, on top of Zahid. He makes an oomph when I land on his stomach.
Wake up,
I say. I grab his shoulder and roughly shake him awake.
Zahid, wake up! It's Tajdid al-Nar!
Zahid groans and pushes me off.
It's barely sunrise.
He grabs his pillow and puts it over his head.
Go back to sleep.
No, you must awaken!
I keep shaking him until his head turns. One mischievous eye peeks out from under the pillow.
All right, you win.
Zahid yawns as he sits up. I clap my hands eagerly, and he chucks the pillow at me. It hits me in the face. We dress quickly with the clothes the servants left out for us last night. Well, I dress quickly. Zahid takes forever. Zahid staggers to the side table and taps Shadi's lamp.
Hey, get up, you lazy jinn. It's Tajdid al-Nar, and apparently everyone cares.
Smoke filters from the lamp spout. Out comes Shadi. He's dressed in a silk robe and nightcap, holding a cup of what looks like coffee and looking bleary-eyed. "Who's everyone?" Shadi asks, looking around.
Bennua,
Zahid says simply.
Oh, by Al-Shams.
Shadi rubs his face like he's having a crisis because we woke him up early.
Hurry up, you two,
I say.
Presents are waiting for us underneath the tree.
Was she like this last year? Shadi asks Zahid.
even worse.
Though sleepy, Zahid gazes at me fondly. It's almost as if he thinks I'm being cute. Oh, I'm so nervous. I hope he likes my present. Although it's not dignified, I practically run downstairs. I squeal when I see all the beautiful gifts piled underneath the tiny crooked tree Zahid planted. Little candles burn throughout the throne room, illuminating it with delicate light. My sisters and mother are already downstairs. The servants aren't here. It's just my family. I gave the rest of the Sultanate the day off.
Isn't it beautiful, Zahid?
I ask him.
Yes.
Zahid says, though he's not looking at the presents. He's looking at me. I have everyone else open their presents first. I more or less don't care about mine. I get more excited watching everyone open what I got them. My sisters and mother whine about the handmade dresses and matching veils embroidered with priceless jewels I made them. But I ignore their complaints. Even they're not ruining today.
Here you are, Shadi,
I say, and I hand him a small wooden box as my sisters and mother go to their rooms to try on the dresses.
This is for you. You didn't have to get me anything, Bennua, Shadi says, though he snatches the box out of my hands. You know I would never do that. I get Tajdid al-Nar presents for people I don't even like. I reply. What are they? Shadi asks, peeking inside the box. Earplugs, I tell him. Shadi brightens. Finally, he says. No more trunk. No more trunk, I laugh, though I can't promise any warnings.
Don't take off,
Zahid says, and he points at Shadi as he tries on the earplugs.
I'm going to need you for Benua's surprise later.
I know. Shadi grumps. We've discussed this a number of times. You had Shadi help you with my gift? I ask Zahid. Yes, he did. Do you know how aggravating it is to plan 2 surprises? Shadi moans. You two have been running me ragged all holiday. I want a vacation.
Then you shall have it,
Zahid says.
Marry Tajdid al-Nar, Shadi.
What? Shadi blinks. You're letting me out?
Yes, we're letting you out,
Zahid says roughly.
Take 2 weeks off. Come back after the new year. Don't get caught by Ruku.
Huzzah! Shadi raises a fist in the air. I get some time away from you stupid humans. Shadi does a twirl and catches Zahid glaring at him. He instantly deflates. Fine, I'll stick around for the rest of today. But by midnight, I'm gone.
Believe me, Shadi, no one wants you out of here more than I do,
Zahid complains. Oh, come on, you two, I say. Give each other a hug. It's Tajdid al-Nar. The two of them sneer at each other and do no such thing. A little while later, Zahid and I retreat to our bedroom so I can give him my present privately. I hid it under the bed. I nearly feel like throwing up as I hand it to him. From the wrappings, Zahid pulls out a beautiful coat. Made of silk and other rare fabrics, it is red in color, with oriental designs and gold buttons. On the back is a beautifully embroidered red phoenix, spreading its wings to take flight. Zahid observes the coat. I rush to explain before he can say anything. It's heavy enough to keep you warm when you travel, but light enough that it'll keep you cool in the heat. It has a hood to conceal your identity and keep your head out of the sun. I hesitate. Do you like it?
You made this?
Zahid looks at me with awe. I nod. It took me hours upon hours. I decided as I placed the last stitch if you didn't like it, I would strangle you with it. I laugh. Zahid swings the coat over his shoulders. He slips his arms through the holes and buttons the coat at his chest.
It fits perfectly,
he marvels. It wasn't easy to make, I confess. Yet I know every curve, every shape of Zahid's body from touch, from memory. I figured you needed something worthy of a sultan, something no one else would have. I add quietly, and I wanted you to have something that reminds you that Al-Shams is always with you, as am I. Zahid's face softens. It's a wonderful, sweet thing.
I love it,
Zahid says, and I let out a sigh of relief.
It's a very thoughtful present.
Zahid pulls me to his side and gives me a kiss.
Why are you always so nervous when you give me gifts?
I'm afraid you won't like them. I giggle, a little warily.
I am not your mother and sisters.
I remembered how much you liked the amulet I gave you and wanted to give you a coat to match. I figured you would prefer something I made over something I bought. I say.
I can't wait for you to see your present. I'm nearly jealous.
Zahid's grin gets bigger. He's actually excited. What kind of present?
I say, interest piqued.
You will see,
he says teasingly. Zahid takes my hand and leads me down to the stables. Since there is no one around, we can, finally, be affectionate toward one another without being afraid. Zahid puts his hands over my eyes and guides me inside the stables. When he pulls his hands away, I'm in front of Amar's stall. He's wearing a beautifully crafted bridle and a saddle fashioned with red tassels. Designs of feathers and phoenixes have been engraved into the leather. The stirrups are gold, along with the bit and other small fastenings.
This is wonderful.
I enter the stall and run my hands over the gorgeous gift. Amar nuzzles his nose into my neck.
Amar wears it well.
I didn't like you riding around in that bridle and saddle Qasim gave you,
Zahid confesses.
So I made this myself.
You made this? It's incredible.
Well,
he sheepishly shrugs.
I had magic. You should have seen how many times Shadi got it wrong. We were cursing each other out by the time it was finished.
It was well worth it.
The seat is made of silk. I'm breathless.
Want to go for a ride?
Zahid asks.
You can test it out.
Oh yes, let's.
I lead Amar out of the stall, and Zahid tacks up Ali. Although the leather is tight and hasn't stretched out yet, I still find the saddle fits me comfortably as Zahid and I race around the desert dunes. I'm a better rider with the tools he crafted. This saddle will serve me well if I ever have to travel long distances again, which I'm sure I will.
Thank you so much for this, Zahid,
I say, when we return to the stables.
It's quite the perfect gift.
That's not all you're getting,
Zahid says, as he locks Ali back in his stall.
There's more?
My mouth nearly drops open.
But I didn't.
It's okay. I don't want anything else,
he says. Then, because he can't help it, he snickers.
I suppose I win the holidays this year.
It isn't a contest,
I grumble, though I'm a little sour. I'm not used to getting beaten at my own game. When we come back, my mother and sisters have prepared the final holiday feast. We eat together, and my family heads off to attend the temple services. Zahid turns away, to go for a walk alone. But instead of going to the temple, I follow him outside.
What are you doing?
Zahid asks when I appear at his side.
I think I'll stay behind with you.
I nudge him.
I'm not leaving you alone on Tajdid al-Nar.
But you love temple service, especially on a day like today. You should go.
He argues.
It'd be missing the point if you were by yourself on the holidays, wouldn't it?
I tease. He smiles.
I suppose.
The streets of Hayama are beautiful, lit up with candles and decorations. No one is outside, save for children playing with their new toys. It's mostly quiet and cold.
Besides,
I add, breaking the silence that is only penetrated by our footsteps upon the cobblestone,
I think I need a break from the temple.
What are you talking about?
Zahid chuckles.
Are you my wife?
It's hard to explain.
I look down.
Sometimes when I go to the temple, I feel guilty.
I more or less single-handedly killed the god of this world through my own selfishness.
Toshana gave herself up for both of us.
Zahid reminds me.
Al-Shams will come back into the world someday.
He sighs.
Though in what form, I'm scared to say I don't know.
I don't think we have to be worried,
I say.
What do you mean?
Zahid tilts his head. He seems curious.
Well, Al-Shams came to me in the form of my best friend,
I offer.
I believe that Al-Shams appears to all of us in a way we can most love him or her. To some, a parent, a lover, or a sibling. You've only seen him as he is, the powerful phoenix god, rather than what he means to you in your heart, whatever that means.
He shakes his head.
I am not sure in what form I could understand Al-Shams the most. In my mind, Al-Shams is a powerful force ruling over us all. I respect him out of fear, not love. I don't understand how I could relate to him as you do.
Perhaps...
I start, then stay silent.
Perhaps what?
Perhaps Al-Shams will return to this world in a form you can relate to this time.
I offer.
Maybe Al-Shams will become someone that it will be easy for you to love unconditionally, someone you can accept love from easily.
Zahid tilts his head.
Maybe, though I doubt we'll meet Al-Shams reincarnated again in our time.
I believe so, I offer. I just have a feeling.
He laughs.
You and your feelings. Come on, I have to give you your second present.
I nearly forgot about it, I confess. Is it time yet?
It's time.
Zahid threads his fingers in mine and pulls me to his side as we enter the palace.
Follow me.
We wind through corridors and twirl around columns until Zahid pushes open the large doors that open to the gardens. Here is where we were married, where Zahid came back to me, and where Toshana is buried. All around her garden are lights. Lanterns, red and green, hang from the trees, and candles burn in colored holders amongst the flowers. Red and white flowers are sprinkled along the pathway and form a circle around the stone bench that sits next to Toshana's resting place. Thin streamers trail slowly in the wind, and chimes knock together to make a magical sound. This garden means so much to me, and Zahid has decorated it beautifully.
Do you like it?
He asks, prodding me.
It's gorgeous,
I whisper. Toshana would have loved this.
Is this my present?
It's part of it. This is it.
Zahid hands me a box. It's smaller than my hand and tied with a big red bow. I slowly unwrap it, wondering what he could put inside that's so small. I pull off the ribbon and let it drop. Inside the box is a small strip of paper. I tilt my head. Curiously, I turn it over. There, in Zahid's writing, are 3 little words. Pray with me. My vision's getting blurry. Tears are dripping down my face.
Are you serious?
Completely.
He takes my hand.
There's no jewels or presents I could give you that would mean more to you than this.
But are you ready?
I ask, uncertain.
I'm sure.
He takes the box out of my hand and puts it aside.
I want to give you the only part of me I haven't yet.
As long as you're certain.
I am.
He looks at me.
You're going to have to help me. I've never done this before. Not really. Not in the way you're supposed to. I don't know what I'm doing.
That's okay,
I tell him.
There is no right or wrong.
I wipe the tears from my cheeks with the heel of my palm, then take his hands and guide him to the stone bench. He sits beside me, and I say,
Do you want me to start?
That'd probably be helpful. Do I have to close my eyes or something?
You don't have to. I don't.
I shrug.
It's too distracting.
What if I look at you instead?
I blink.
I think that'd be perfect.
Zahid covers my hands with his large ones. He looks at me, expecting me to start.
Al-Shams.
I start, calling him into this place. I hope she is listening to me because, even though I killed her, I'm longing for forgiveness and love. I need to experience the memory of her touch because I miss her so badly.
I want to thank you for everything, for giving us a good holiday, for protecting our kingdom, and bringing Zahid and I together tonight, and together in the first place.
I look at Zahid. His turn. He flounders.
Yes, I want to say, what I'm trying to get across. No, what I want to say is.
He takes a stabilizing breath.
I'm sorry,
he says, his cheeks redden.
I'm not very good at this.
You're doing fine, but you're trying to sound so important. It's just a conversation,
I say. He nods.
Right, I'll start over.
Zahid takes a deep breath.
Al-Shams, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't believe in you before and tried to run from you all those years. It was hard and it hurt. I didn't understand why you allowed us to starve or allowed people to hurt us. I don't know why you would let terrible things happen. Why you took my mother from me.
I take my thumb and wipe away the tear that's fallen from his lashes. He sniffs and gets himself composed.
But I suppose it was for good. Because I have Bennua now, and we have a chance to make life better for other people. And I realize having all the answers isn't important anymore. It's not my place to know. But I do know I have to make the best of what you gave me and turn my pain into blessings. It's what my wife taught me how to do.
When he speaks this time, it's different. His eyes, they change. There are many colors and lights, all the brilliance of the world shining within them. The feeling between us, the emotion, it's different now. I can feel the fire sparking inside his chest, am wrapped within the warmth of his life, encompassed by the incredible power blooming inside of his soul, because I can feel it raging within mine too. It's like the two of us are connected at the heart, and always will be.
And Al-Shams, thank you so much for bringing Zahid back to me,
I add, unable to contain what's escaping out of my mouth, or rather, my spirit.
I know I've thanked you 1,000 times, but 1,000 more, 1,000,000 more, will never be enough. He is wonderful, the greatest man that you could have ever chosen for me. I only hope that someday you'll come back to us, and come back to us soon, so that all of us will be together again.
Zahid starts forward. He grabs me by the back of the neck and pulls me in, placing his lips upon mine and blissfully kissing my mouth. I always think we can't top our last kiss until we do it. Every time. Amen, I say, when he pulls back, and I laugh.
Sorry, couldn't help it,
he replies.
Did you mean all that?
Of course I did. The best gift Al-Shams ever gave me was you. Loving you is the greatest privilege I will ever have,
I tell him quietly.
It was so beautiful. I could never say amazing things like that.
You can. You say them to me all the time.
I move closer.
Was that okay? Did I push you too hard?
It was fine,
he says.
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I smile and put my forehead to his.
Thank you again,
I whisper quietly,
for doing this with me.
It wasn't just for you,
he replies.
I suppose it was for me too.
I raise my head and kiss away the remaining tears that are drying on his cheeks.
Come. There's one last thing we have to do before the new year.
An hour before midnight finds us in Hayama's town square. Everyone in the kingdom is attending. The area is lit by large beacons filled with fire. The priests are handing out yellow paper lanterns. There are children, elders, and families. But mostly, there are couples. This is the end of Tajdid al-Nar, where everyone ties their wishes for the new year to the lanterns and sends them up into the sky as prayers to Al-Shams. Most people can't read or write, so the priests are writing for them, or they ask others who can write to help them out.
There you two are. I was wondering where you'd gone to,
Shadi says. He rolls up a very, very long strip of paper and ties it to his lantern.
That's quite a wish list, Shadi,
I say in a teasing manner.
That it is. Give Al-Shams some time to think about the rest of us, would you?
Zahid says, though the jibe is jovial, ecstatic even. Is there a change in him?
It's not a list. More of a letter,
Shadi confesses.
And not so much to Al-Shams either.
Someone you miss? I offer. There is someone I miss very much, Shadi says somberly. Quietly, he adds, one day we'll meet again, and I don't intend to let her go this time. Shadi then claps Zahid on the back.
But until that time, I'm stuck with you two. Unfortunately.
Very unfortunately.
Zahid takes a lantern from the priest. I grab 2 quills, some ink, and 2 tiny strips of paper. I hand a quill and a piece of paper to Zahid, then sit on the edge of the square fountain. He sits beside me, back to back.
If you and Zahid have the same wish, it's supposed to come true, Shadi says wisely. Make sure you two read each other's minds, as I have no doubt you are able to do.
Zahid makes a sarcastic but happy noise.
Not so much.
No peeking, I say, and I kick Zahid's leg with my foot.
Wouldn't dream of it, my queen.
I tap the feather quill against my mouth, wondering what it is I wish for and what Zahid could possibly write down. An idea comes to me. I scribble down a few quick words on the paper, then roll it up. I hand it to Zahid, who has set up our lantern. We tie our wishes onto it. Together, we light the wick. We hold the lantern until it fills with hot air and rises out of our hands. Our lantern, along with thousands of others, rises above the square and flies over the city of Hayama. They sail into the desert sky that's riddled with stars. It's a brilliant sight.
Do you think we wished for the same thing?
I ask Zahid as we watch our lantern float away.
Let's hope so.
He breathes. A weight seems to have been lifted off his shoulders.
One last thing,
Shadi murmurs. He snaps his fingers. From the sky comes trickling down something white and soft, something I've never seen before. The strange white specks spiral all around, dancing in a circle and creating a dazzling display in the square. I do not know what it is, but the millions of tiny flakes captivate me.
It's beautiful.
I hush. I reach out to touch it with my fingers.
Shadi, what's this?
It's snow, he says. It falls in the mountains and in colder places this time of year.
Ah, it's cold,
I yelp as the snow touches my skin and do a little dance. The citizens of Hayama have no idea what's going on. They begin running around screaming, shouting that Al-Shams has cursed us and that the sun god has decided to take away our warmth and punish us with cold.
You insolent fool! You've ended up causing a panic.
Zahid whispers harshly under his breath.
Ah!
Shadi screams.
It's all right, everyone. Remain calm. It's merely water.
The children figure out the snow is harmless and begin playing in it. Once everyone realizes the snow is just a part of the weather, they ooh and ah at the gorgeous sight, before many realize that it's freezing, and hurry up to go back inside. The snow has coated Zahid's hair and eyelashes. With all the pandemonium and the magic, no one is paying attention to us. That is how it should be, he and I, in our own little world, and the world we create together is all that truly matters.
I love you, Bennua.
Zahid places a tender kiss on my forehead.
Meri tajdid al-nar.
I love you too, Zahid. I nuzzle against his chest. And a very merry tajdid al-nar to you. The snow sweeps around us, and that old familiar darkness inside my chest lessens. Not completely, but just enough so I can breathe again. Zahid is right. In time, things will get better. Despite all the mishaps, it really did turn out to be the best tajdid al-nar ever. The end. This has been Blessings from Ashes, a Kingdom Saga holiday. Written by Megan Linsky. Narrated by Nadia Marshall. Copyright 2017 by Megan Linsky. Audio copyright 2024 by Megan Linsky.